The final leg of Kailub Russell's championship journey is complete. After taking the lead from Jordan Ashburn in our last race, he clinched his second straight GNCC title. Now he's going to race a 152 stroke. Can he keep doing big things on a small bike? This is going to be a fun one, folks. The venerable ITP Powerline Park GNCC. Been racing here in St. Clairsville, Ohio for about a dozen years. The fans know where to find all the cool obstacles like the jumps and the mud, sometimes all in the same place. And we have a special treat, Kailub Russell riding a 152 stroke today. He's already clinched the 2014 Grand National Cross Country title, so why not go out there and have some fun on the little bike after clinching the title on a 350 four-stroke. This is your AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series presented by Maxxis, an AMA National Championship. With Russell electing to ride the low horsepower machine if he cannot win the race today, and I believe the deck is pretty well stacked against him. A guy like this, Josh Strang, could be the favorite. Rocky Mountain ATV MC Yamaha, Jordan Ashburn on the AmPro and Fab Yamaha really coming on strong as of late. And Russell's old title rival, Charlie Mullins, back in action today. Missed a ton of racing this year with 2 broken wrists. So we'll see if he has the fitness to go 3 hours strong. We'll see how the 150 does. We'll see if some of these other riders can get their first win of the year. And one thing we're not surprised is Paul Whibley grabbing a great start. Always grabbing hole shots, but Russell to the inside has got the lead on the 150. Are you kidding me? Now I will say there's a small advantage off the line. The dead engine start of GNCC, I'm sure that 150 lights with the kicker a lot faster than anything else. In a motocross race, he'd have no shot at a good start. That's just a pure drag race. Here, he got a good jump and then knifed to the inside and took the whole shot away from Whibley. Whibley, I believe, will officially get the All Balls $250 whole shot award, but Russell has what counts, and that is the lead. And the fans love it here in this section. See, we don't even need to tape these races anymore. We just have the fans shoot it on their iPhone. Send us the footage, bud. So it's incredible what has happened so far, at least. Russell has proven there's no doubt the 150 can compete, while the rest of the field tries to hang with him. We'll sort through who they are. Down in the famous muddy road here at St. Clairsville. This is Gus's Mud Hole, named after our original TV producer back in 2001. Whibley is fighting it out with Mullins for the second place spot. Stuart Baylor, Jordan Ashburn, Thad Duvall, Andrew DeLong, Chris Bach there on the Rockstar JCR Honda, all in formation. But right now, Russell, oh, wait a minute, no, I was going to say getting away. Mullins and Baylor. Well, this is a KTM brochure right here. We got 3 different styles of KTMs, 1, 2, and 3. And the rest of these guys, this pack we're talking about, trying to hang with them. You can see the pace is intense early on. And there is Strang at the back of the train on the Rocky Mountain ATV MC Yamaha. And that's been the problem for Strang all year, man. He's been fast, he's been good, but it seems like the starts and the early parts of the race aren't good, and then he'll figure that out one week and he'll have problems in the middle of the race. He has not been able to put together the full package, although all the components to win are there. But here today, perfect example, an opportunity to win with Mullins coming back from injury, Russell on the little bike, and Strang is at the back of the train. And that is fun to listen to. Baylor, by the way, on the 252 stroke, a 454 stroke for Mullins. Stuck is Whibley, DeLong, Ashburn, Duvall, and now Strang has gotten it stuck in the rocks. Takeshi Koikita right there behind him. That's a tough section right there. You don't want to rush it. Koikita now has stalled the motorcycle. And another pack coming through. That's Chris Douglas there. And I believe Daniel Milner, who is a visitor out of Australia in the hunt. Well, you can change a lot of things, but it's still Russell and Mullins out front like they have been for most of the last 2 years in this series. Mullins back from injury, Russell on a different motorcycle, and they're still battling for the lead. The St. Clairsville track, by the way, that dirt looks good, but it is deceptively slippery here. It is like riding on ice at times. Really hard to push the pace. See Strang trying to do it, but this course can bite you. Go down in a hurry. Hey, Mullins has wrestled the lead away from Russell, so score one for the big bikes. An impressive return to GNCC Racing for Charlie Mullins, going to lead this first lap around. Good to see the hot rod back. Of course, the question is, can he go 3 hours, having been off the bike for most of the summer with injury? And Strang is now being given a stop-and-go penalty. Barry Hawk there on the left. They got the countdown clock going. I believe it's going to be a 30-second penalty for Strang. The bike started early on the line, and it starts. Tough big race so far. Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by Can-Am. Things are really picking up here at the front of the pack. AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series, the top 5 all in formation. Mullins, Russell, Baylor. See, Andrew DeLong is in that group, and Thad Duvall and Chris Bach on the Hondas. They are hustling to try to get with that group. And it's Paul Whibley and Josh Strang. What an adventure it has been for Strang already. Fired the bike early on the line. And once you do that, you're going to get a penalty. He actually did the right thing and shut the engine back off, so then he also started last. But it doesn't matter. If you start the bike early, even if you shut it off before you take off, you're going to be penalized. So Strang has had a tough road to hoe today. Bad start and then a stop-and-go penalty. Would love to be up there with this pack. Get Duvall and Bach continuing to close in. Duvall on the RideMPS.com Honda. Rockstar JCR Honda for Bach. Here's Strang, Rocky Mountain ATV MC Yamaha. Whibley on the Ampro NFAB Yamaha. Tough season for Whibley this year. A very proud 2-time GNCC champ from New Zealand. You see Mullins continuing to lead. Actually, Ashburn now, who has gotten around Russell. That's just straight horsepower when you're out of the pit straightaway. And the 450 Yamaha of Ashburn taking the measure. Russell. It's Bach, or sorry, a Baylor coming through next. No change in the order of this group. Strang is really digging. You can see the riders in front of you. It's that much easier to go after them. And he now has Bach and Duvall in sight. But how about Charlie Mullins leading them around? Jordan Ashburn wants to take advantage of this situation. You got Russell on the little bike, down on power, and you have Mullins. Like I said, the endurance is certainly going to be a question today. How long can he hang on? And I mean literally hang on, coming off of 2 bad wrist breaks. Mullins had a problem. He was actually riding on a motocross track practicing, and the bike cut out. Came up short of the jump, broke those wrists. Oh, now Ashburn has been pushed back to 4th, so he must have made a mistake. That FMF KTM trio. Oh, and a huge crash. That is DeLong on the factory Husky, and he is shaken up. For the life of me, I can't even figure out how you crash in that section. But again, this track is deceptively slippery. He must have just swapped, maybe got the back end loose, and once it hooked, he went for a ride. Hope he's okay. Been a very solid rookie season in this class for DeLong. Couple of podium finishes. Let's hope he can get back on the motorcycle today. And this Bach Duvall group, now with Strang a part of it, they are doing everything they can to bridge the gap to what is now a foursome up front. It was a 5-rider group until DeLong went down. Hey, Russell back into the lead. He's got to do his damage in the woods. It's not going to be the best combination out here in these fields. He's making it work. Now, a really cool deal, by the way, riding this 150, not just for the fun of it, but this is for a good cause. Going to auction this bike off at the end of our final race next week at the Ironman in Indiana, and the money raised is going to go to Rory Mead. Favorite with all these riders, was racing in the XC2 division this year, crashed, was paralyzed at the Steel Creek GNCC this spring. So Russell's going to donate a lot of the money to him, take a little bit out of it to help pay his way to the International 6 Days Enduro to represent Team USA over there. But the majority of the money will go to Rory Mead. That's great to help a rider who could use it. So you'll have a chance to make this bike your own. And a big thanks to Mead's team. That's Shane Watts, who runs that program in the Dirtwise schools. They've gotten together with Russell on this deal. Of course, a lot of great sponsors putting together what is a factory 150 two-stroke. KTM factory-built motor, KTM factory suspension. That's a one-of-a-kind bike. I don't think there's a factory 150 KTM for any other reason except this. And they will let the bike go to a good cause. The cause right now, though, is trying to win the race, and that's what Russell is doing. He's leading it and getting away. Stuart Baylor in second. This could be big for him if Baylor could win this thing. Mullins pushed back to third. I've got to wonder if the wrists are starting to ail Mullins. If Baylor could win this thing, it would be big. He would need it in the worst way. He's always suffering from those wrist injuries. Had a really bad break 2 years ago, taking the wind out of his sails. Strang around Bach around Duval. And you got to remember, these are long races, 3 hours. All that tussling up front early doesn't always matter. So Russell has weathered a couple of storms here. Mullins made a bid. Ashburn made a bid. And he's the leader right now, near the halfway point. Can Stuart Baylor on the 252 stroke make it happen today? We're going to be Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Fans are really getting into this. Kailub Russell on the 152 stroke, getting away from the field here at Powerline Park. Charlie Mullins back up to the number 2 position. So a little run put in by Stuart Baylor in second. He has now dropped back. Ashburn is third. Josh Strang up to 4th. Chris Bach 5th. So problems for Baylor. Here he is outside the top 5, and he's not jumping. What is he doing? Didn't have the drive or missed the line. Yeah, he's choosing to go all the way to the left. Well, discretion, maybe the better part of valor there. Going to lose a little bit of time, but maybe he avoided a big crash. Look at Kailub Russell. And it goes way back in the day to Shane Watts' days of dominating this series. He was taking out different size KTMs every week and winning races. And I remember Scott Summers, the famous 5-time GNCC champ, saying, hey, when you have corner speed, it doesn't matter what kind of horsepower your bike has. And look at Russell in some of these sections nailing the corners. Not through here. This is just technical stuff, hard to go fast. But section we saw right before that, keeping his momentum up. Anyone can pin it on a straightaway. But if you can get these technical sections down, you can get the corners down, that's where you can make up a lot of time and negate the horsepower disadvantage. But it certainly takes a very special rider to do that. That's what Shane Watts was back in the late 90s, in 2000 season when he won the title. And Russell is quickly rounding himself into the conversation as one of the all-time greats of the game. By the way, look at the bike kicking around on these rocks. Suspension performance just never as good on a lightweight 2-stroke like that. These big 450s can just tractor through sections. The tire doesn't spin. The bike's got a little more weight. You just never get the suspension to work as right on a little bike like this, no matter how well set up it is. So you have to deal with that. Of course, the bike is lighter, so it doesn't take as much effort to throw around and get back in line. That's Strang up to second. Really good run here in the second half of the race. Remember, he was about 9th at one point at the back of the train, and he has slowly but surely picked off each one of those riders. They've all had their moments, but they've all had their problems also. Russell has been the most consistent, though, so far. Picking his way through the rocks, and a look over his shoulder. For the first time today, Strang is in contention for it. And he's digging. The Australian, former series champion, knows today could be the day for him to take a victory, and he is now closed up to the rear fender of Russell. We've got a battle on our hands at Powerline Park. And in these field sections, these flat corners, that 450 four-stroke's gonna eat it up. And look at this, just getting blocked practically. So much more speed. Russell comes right into him. You don't see usually that kind of combat in a GNCC race. Obviously, Russell wants to win in the worst way today. Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by Can-Am. So Kailub Russell continues to lead. We have got a battle, though. Josh Strang from way back has caught him. Now in the wood sections, the 450 is still better. There's no doubt about it. That's why everybody runs these things. I'd say in these sections of the course, the 150 is at less of a disadvantage. But man, as we saw at the end of that previous lap, you get into the fields and those wide corners where it's all about traction and power, they're just no contest. So maybe Strang just bides his time. Go a little bit further back, Ashburn, Mullins, and Bach in a good battle. This could be for the podium. So these guys are definitely motivated today. Back up front. Oh, these straightaways are not going to be easy for Russell, and he just gives it right up to Strang. Strang actually motions to him a pit stop for Russell. Needed fuel. And now looking down at the motorcycle, can he not get it started? Do we have a problem with the bike? No, they're coming out. Oh, he's got a problem. That's the rear brake pedal. So there's a problem with the rear brake pedal. Mechanic going to work on it. Quick fix apparently got that thing straight. Maybe there was a rock jammed in there or whatever it was, but that's it. He lost a ton of ground in the pits, and the benefactor is Josh Strang. And I'll tell you, do not at all think, well, Strang is getting lucky here, because this guy has had, whoa! I thought there was a head-on collision coming with that lap rider. Anyway, here's Russell in second. Don't say that Strang got lucky. This guy has been through hell and back the last couple of years in this series, and he'll take it any way he can get it. There's Ashburn in third. I mean, it's about time Lady Luck was finally on Strang's side. Guy won the GNCC title a few years back. The year he was defending the crown, broke his leg badly at her season finale at Loretta Lynn's that year. Really took him almost a year to get his form back. In the meantime, he was riding for the factory Suzuki team. They folded up shop, ran out of money when the economy ground to a halt, so he was out of a ride. Raced the World Series out west for a while. You see Russell here in second. Wanted to come back to the GNCCs. Built his own program last year at Rocky Mountain ATV MC. He's been getting better and better, Strang. Not able to bring it to victory lane yet. Today, though, could be the day. And I'll tell you what, also, yeah, he's on the 450. So were a lot of other guys today, and they haven't been able to make it happen. He's passed them all and has an opportunity to win his first race since the Snowshoe GNCC midway through the 2011 season. So this one's going to feel good if he can hang on and get it. And I believe he's done what he has to do. Started dead last, had to take on a stop-and-go penalty, make a lot of passes, a torrid fight with Russell. And Josh Strang is going to come back and win in GNCC racing again. A 3-year wait. He has got to be thrilled. Kailub Russell puts on one heck of a show. He's proven the 150 is capable of winning. capable of running up front, but he's going to have to settle for second today. And Jordan Ashburn wins that big battle for the podium on the AmPro and Fab Yamaha. Time for a shout-out, Grant Baylor. Second year in a row, he is going to win the XC2 title, and he put in a run today for the overall. Here are your AMSOIL results in the XC1 class. Mullins 4th, Baylor 5th. Fox, Milner, Whibley, Quakita, DeLong did get himself back going and rounded out the top 10. Baylor wins XC2, and with it, the championship is second. As we saw earlier, Lane Michaels did round out the podium. Baylor should bring him up to 361 at our next race in Indiana. That should be interesting. Here's your AMSOIL race recap. Hole shot for Paul Whibley, no surprise there. The shocker was Russell able to get around him quickly on the little 150 and led for a while. Didn't sit well apparently with his KTM teammates who were right there battling. John Strang had to stop and go penalty early. That put him way back, but he was not to be deterred today. He would work his way forward. Big battle for the lead with Russell. Russell had to stop for gas late. Strang was able to take the lead and take his first victory in over 3 years. Meanwhile, Grant Baylor wraps up a championship. Congrats to him. We'll see you next week.